My journey from slacking to stacking wins. A while back, I started mulling over what was holding me back from crushing my goals. I was sick and tired of getting the same lame results and tripping over the same old problems again and again. This year, I decided it was time to tackle some fresh challenges. But to do that, I had to ditch the old baggage first. One of my biggest enemies? Procrastination. Man, I was the king of "I'll do it tomorrow." After a ton of soul-searching, and let's be real, a few hard knocks, I finally cracked the code on how to deal with it. I told myself, yo, put down the phone, quit scrolling through TikTok, and get to work. So I started moving toward my goals, step by step. But here's the thing, starting something, easy peasy. Sticking with it until you see results, that's where the real grind kicks in. It's like signing up for a gym membership versus actually showing up every day. I've always been in awe of people who go all in on their dreams. Like, how do they stay so locked in? Not long ago, I stumbled across a video of Cristiano Ronaldo dropping some truth bombs about discipline and consistency. He was like, doesn't matter if you're not feeling it, you gotta push through and do what needs doing. That's how you build mental toughness. That hit me hard. I was like, all right, I'm done slacking. I want to be that guy who stays on track and makes things happen. But of course, there was a catch, my old pal, laziness. It's like this annoying shadow that follows me everywhere. To me, laziness is when you half-ass something or just can't be bothered to give it your all. There's this constant tug-of-war in my head. One side's dreaming big, the other's like, nah, let's just chill and binge Netflix. Usually what happens is I set a big goal, make a killer plan, take a couple of steps, and then poof. I lose steam and can't keep it consistent enough to see any results. I was like, why am I stuck in neutral with all these huge dreams? Then one day I came across this psychology thing called the expectancy value theory. Sounds fancy, but it's pretty straightforward. It says your motivation to do something depends on two things. First, how much you care about the reward. Like if someone says, run a mile for $10, you might roll your eyes. But if they say, run a mile for $1,000, you're probably lacing up your sneakers real quick. That part's obvious. Bigger reward, bigger drive. But there's a second piece, how much you believe you can actually pull it off. If you don't think you can run that mile, you won't even try, even if the prize is $1 million. Why waste your energy if you're convinced it's going to flop? That hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized I wasn't motivated because deep down, I didn't believe I could make it happen. And I had good reason. I'd crashed and burned so many times before. With a rap sheet full of fails, it was hard to trust myself to win. I tried all sorts of approaches, but I never stuck with any of them long enough to see results. 5 years in, and I was basically still at square one. My confidence in succeeding was in the gutter, and so was my motivation. But then, something clicked. I was looking at everything the wrong way. Once I flipped my perspective, it was like the clouds parted. Before, every mistake felt like proof I was doomed to fail. Now I see that screwing up is just part of the process to getting it right. Let me hit you with a quick story. Back in the 1870s, Thomas Edison was grinding away trying to invent the light bulb. Problem was, every material he tested kept burning out. After thousands of tries and no luck, one of his team members was like, "Man, we've got nothing to show for this." But Edison, he was chill. He said, "No, we found thousands of ways that don't work." Dude kept at it and eventually cracked it. And here I was, throwing in the towel after like 3 tries. That thought hit me like a freight train. What if I wasn't failing, just quitting too soon? From that moment, I started seeing my flops as stepping stones. It took me 4 months to make my first YouTube video. The result? 3 views after a whole month. Old me would have been crushed, but new me was like, that's just part of the game. When you're trying to get good at something, every L brings you closer to a W, as long as you learn from it. Just messing up and doing the same thing over and over, that's a recipe for nowhere. What changed everything for me was making a habit of pausing after a bad result, figuring out what went wrong, and coming up with a new plan. Now I embrace my mistakes and look for any sign of progress, even if it's not perfect. The real question is, am I getting better?
If you think your laziness is just about not having enough discipline, maybe take a second look. Could it be you're actually scared to try something new? Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from swinging. That's the only way you're guaranteed to lose. Let me break it down a bit more on how this mindset shift saved Bacon. Once I started seeing failures as lessons, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I didn't have to beat myself up every time something went south. Instead, I turned into a detective, hunting for clues about what went wrong. Like, one time I started a side hustle but bailed halfway because it felt like it was taking forever. I sat down and thought, why'd I quit? Maybe my goal was too massive and I got overwhelmed. So I broke it down into smaller chunks and tackled them one by one. Slowly but surely, I started seeing progress. Another game changer was learning to be patient. Success doesn't just show up overnight. It's like planting a seed. You can't expect a full-grown tree the next day. You gotta water it, nurture it, and wait for it to grow. I stopped obsessing over instant results and focused on the process. Like, instead of stressing that my video didn't go viral, I got stoked about posting consistently and improving my edits each time.
Surrounding yourself with the right people helps a ton too. If you're hanging with folks who just complain or slack off, you'll start picking up their habits. I made it a point to connect with people who are hungry for success. Even if you can't find them IRL, the internet's full of inspiring content. Podcasts, videos, books, you name it. They're like a shot of motivation straight to the veins. Bottom line, if you want to level up, you gotta get real with yourself. Laziness, fear, whatever's holding you back, it's just a hurdle. And hurdles are meant to be jumped, not cried over. Every step you take, no matter how small, gets you closer to your dreams. Failing's fine, quitting's not. So get up, take a deep breath, and go chase those goals. You got this!